What's good, family? Welcome to the space. This is Traymon McZill, the Young Manifest Guru, and I am so happy that you have tuned back into the vibration of love undiluted. This is a space for people who understand themselves as living embodiments of the spirit, who want to deepen their understandings in their personal relationships with spirit so that they can really bask in that undiluted love that God has to offer in abundance. I'm so happy that you are here. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about the top 3 ways to live a stress-free life in 2021. Let's get it. One of the most important things in the world right now in our lives is just love. Loving one another. Loving one another without bounds, without borders, without anything. Love that is not diluted by culture or ideology or any of that shit. It's just love. You feel me? I mean, what's more important than love for real? Alright, family, let's go ahead and get into it. Cause I know y'all asking like 2021 stress free. He must be what you smoking. But that's right. You can go through the rest of your 2021 from today on without a lick of stress. You feel me? It'll just be problems. They can't stick to me. You feel me? Your problems are going to be slipping off of you like a greased up man on ice. Come on, you feel me? I'm too slick for stress. You feel me? It slip up off me. All my problems, I ain't got to worry about it. I let God handle it. That's how you finna be. After you leave this episode, you're gonna be like, man, God got all of that. I ain't even worried about that. I ain't even worried about what they said I got to worry about because I'm tapped into that eternal source that lets me know that all is good and all is well. And as long as I'm tapped into that, then I ain't even really got to stress about this temporal notion of suffering and separation because I'm rocking with pops and moms and they telling me that all is good and all is Gucci. So, come on, let's get it poppin'. I really wanted to come into this episode because we have all lived through 2020, right? Everybody that's watching this video has lived through 2020, unless you watching from the other side, which I love you for real. And we all are in a space where it's like, okay, I really want 2021 to be so much better than 2020 was because 2020 was so turbulent for all of us. We all had a lot of hardships. I mean, I also want to say that 2020 was full of blessings. Full of blessings, full of revelations, full of light, and full of love. I saw so much love in 2021. I experienced more love in 2020 than I experienced in a long time. And I want to say that 2020 was a beautiful year for the world and for the collective. And we will look back on this year and we will look back on 2020 and rejoice for the seeds that were planted in the space of darkness because they will bloom to give light like no other seeds before. So, shout out to that. But we cannot deny that it was a rough year. We cannot deny that it was a rough year. So how do we, and I don't know about y'all, but I think it would be unwise and a little foolish to think that 2021 is just going to ease up. It doesn't seem like 2021 is really going to be one of those years. It's like, oh, everything, 2020 was just an isolated event. That don't seem to make sense to me. I also, I believe in a lot of they're not even conspiracy theories, they're just facts. I just the people, they ain't letting up. You know what I'm saying? They not going to let up cuz they got some devious plans. How can we live stress-free in the midst of a world that is falling apart? How can you go through the apocalypse and see paradise? experiencing paradise. How can they both exist at the same time? Because we know that they do. We know that they do. Because heaven is rolled out upon this earth. It has always been. We have already been blessed and saved. That's not fancy wording or fancy religion. Heaven is here. Paradise is here. Unity is the reality of the world. We just don't see it. Peace on earth is actually the biggest reality of the world. We just choose not to see it. And so how can we actually tap into the peace that is already here? Because that is what this is. That's the premise that this is based on, right? That it doesn't matter what phase of life you're in, all other phases exist as a possibility. The seed for another phase of your life exists right now. So if you are experiencing a life of pain, joy exists there as well. The seed is always there. That's the beauty of living in the totality of God, the totality of the Most High, of Spirit, of Source. That's the beauty of living in the totality of a universal source, which is that all things exist in the same sphere. And it is about attention and awareness. What part of reality are you placing your awareness in? And this is about choosing to place our attention, ways that we can place our attention on the parts of reality that we want to exist. So that even when hardships and struggles come to pass, we are, you feel me? I don't know who you think you about to be stressing, but the way my edges is set up, I need to divorce myself from your problems. You feel me? Like, so there are 3 ways that I know that I have practiced to be able to my best ability, maintain my peace in moments of turmoil, in moments of hardship, and moments of resistance. One is to divorce yourself from the external world. Tune out so that you can tune in. When I left college, I was very depressed. This was in 2016. Now, I was a part of a lot of circles that had to deal with activism, that had to deal with social justice. I was at the protests, I was at the planning meetings, and I was involved. But I was acting from a space of emptiness, honestly. I was trying to pour out from a space of emptiness, and I was fractured. I didn't feel whole. I felt fractured. And the truth of the matter is that a fractured me could only fracture the movement. It could only fracture the people around me, especially the people that I saw on the other side. I could not interact with them from love. I could only fracture them because they were seen as other to me. The opposite side was seen as other to me. And so, of course, I reacted out of hatred and anger. I could only fracture because I was fractured. Sometimes it's important to divorce yourself from all external influences, to reclaim our attention and our energy back to ourselves, for ourselves, when we need care. Divorce yourself from the relationship. Divorce yourself from the partnership. Divorce yourself from the circumstances. Divorce yourself from what's going on in the world. Stop watching the news. Stop watching the news. If you want to get through 2021 without stress, you will turn off Fox 5 right now, because Fox 5 is stressing you out. I see your edges thinning. Damn. You gotta be able to hold on to your peace. If you want to keep your edges in 2021, you will turn off the news. And you will also turn off all of that, all of the outside noise, so that you can tune in to yourself, so that you can tune in to the indwelling spirit of the Most High. That is where peace lies. Peace, joy, happiness, the virtues of life lie with spirit. Get in contact with it. Tune out so that you can tune in. If there's too much noise going on for your attention, then how are you paying attention to God? If you're so focused on everything going out around you, how are you paying attention to God? And I know for me, it was guilt. I felt bad. Oh, what do I mean? I'm not gonna be active in the community anymore. I was just dogging motherfuckers for not being active in the community, and now I'm trying to make up something, make up an excuse. I'm not making up an excuse. I wasn't making up an excuse. When you divorce yourself from certain situations, you're not making up an excuse to run away. You are doing the work so that you can return a whole, healed individual. An empty pitcher in a glass full of empty cups is just another receptacle begging to be filled. It doesn't make sense. It's the hurt leading the hurt. The hurt who has never healed leading the hurt. The blind leading the blind. We can't help from a space of pain. We can't be our best selves if we aren't caring for ourselves. And a lot of times we want to invest in other things and we never take the time to invest in ourselves. You want to have peace in 2021? Take some time to invest some intention and some attention on God, on you. And divorce yourself from the external. And don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about it. It's your attention. It emanates from you. You can decide to emanate it from you and keep it right back onto you. It's yours. It's yours. You deserve it. You deserve your attention. You're worth it. And the outside world will be there when you get back. If we are a student of the past, if we are students of history, then we understand that the present moment is in so many ways, in a lot of ways, and probably always, a result of the seeds that have been planted in the past. We are all living out our karma. We are all living out our individual karma, our collective karmas. We are all doing that. And so we know that the present moment is a blossoming of the seeds that were planted in the future. And we know that the suffering now is due. The hardships now are due. They are the blossoming of those seeds planted in the past. And if we are observing the present moment, then we know that there are seeds being planted right now that is going to take suffering into the future, that will bloom more pain into the future. So if you are a student of history, you know that what is now is what must be. And if you are an observer of what is now right now, then you know that in the future, you can't help but to be in a world that also has suffering too. There will be people suffering when you get back to the world, because there are people responding to their suffering right now in ways that are planting more suffering. So when you divorce yourself from the world and you focus that attention on yourself, know that the world will always be there for you when you get back from your recluse, when you get back from your retreat, when you get back from your restoration and your rejuvenation, and you will be better to change the world. When you come to the world when you come to the external world from a place of internal wholeness and abundance, you change the circumstances. The circumstances do not change you. You change the world. You do not let the world change you. So tuning out, tuning in. Divorcing yourself from those things which no longer need your attention and bringing your attention back to yourself. And then number 2 is meditation. Meditation, which is nothing more than breath awareness. Being aware of your breath has enormous effects, enormous benefits. You'll start to realize that certain emotions are tied to certain breath patterns, and that certain breath patterns are tied to certain emotions, and that when you feel stress, you're breathing shallow, and that when you are calm, you're breathing deeply and calmly. And so you know that you'll start to learn that if you can control your breath, you can control how you feel. And breath awareness deepens the breath automatically. If you put some attention on your breathing, it deepens automatically. Deeper, calmer breaths lead to a more peaceful experience of your life. If you want to live 2021 peacefully, get acquainted with your breath. Meditate. Because meditation also allows you to, for me, it allows me to, there is space between an incident and my response. And the larger that space is, the more options that I see, the more time I have to respond. If your space is this small between the incident and your response, you didn't even get to see all of your options before you just reacted. Meditation puts space there and says there is infinite amount of space between something happening and me deciding to do what I need to do in response to it. It also allows you to see that, and in that space you can choose peace. You can choose to react in a way that cultivates peace and joy and happiness in the moment as best as you can. Not everybody's perfect. Not everybody's perfect, but that's why the consistent practice of meditation is important. I'm not perfect. Sometimes somebody will fucking piss me off and all of a sudden I'm upset and I didn't have nothing but that amount of time. But the more I meditate, the larger it gets, the larger that space gets, and I'm not so reactive and I'm more responsive, constructive. I choose responses that choose to water the peace and the joy in the moment, because we know that all of these things exist at the same time. So, meditation gives you that space to respond instead of react, because breath awareness lets you know that all is good. Things are stressing, but I am breathing calm, and so therefore I am calm, and so therefore things can't be that bad. I can still breathe in peace, so things must not be that bad. Meditation. It is a beautiful practice to cultivate peace in your everyday life. And meditation is not just sitting down, it's also walking. It's you want to be aware of your breath as much as possible throughout the day. Because if you are breathing deep, you are having deep, rich experiences. The deeper your breath, the deeper the experiences you have of your life. So pay attention to your breath so that it can automatically deepen, and in doing so, automatically deepen and enriching your experience of life, your experience of God, and your experience of yourself and the world around you. Peace is but a breath away, family. 2021, you want to live peacefully? Start to breathe like you are at peace. Amen. And number 3 is cultivating a transcendental perspective onto temporal problems. This one requires time. This one requires study, and this one requires patience. Time, study, patience, awareness, intention, surrender. And it requires practice and consistency. This is why it's really important for me to read and to learn. Because it has to get drilled into our understanding that we are eternal spirits, part of an eternal spirit. We have to be able to constantly know and base all of our interactions with one another, base our interactions with the world, and base our interactions with ourselves and our circumstances and our situations. We have to be able to base our response on the fact that we are individual spirits of the Most High. And in doing so, we cultivate a transcendental perspective onto temporal problems. Because when you are living in your problems, you can't see the outside sometimes. How often have we had somebody give us clarity by looking from the outside in? When you on the inside looking out, sometimes you can't see the limitations, the boundaries that your problems actually have, because you are in the midst of it. And the thing is our problems are all temporary. Joy, goodness, happiness, peace, love, all of the virtues are eternal, and they are essential, and they are fundamental. We have to be able to ingrain in our understanding that we are one with those eternal virtues, because that is how we understand the aphorism of "this too shall pass." Knowing that this too shall pass, so I'm not going to stress on it. It's easy to do that when the time of passing is short. You get a cut on your finger. I got a cut on my finger the other day. I didn't stress about it because I knew in less than 2 minutes I would no longer feel it. So I didn't stress about it. This too will pass. The whole 2 minutes I wasn't, oh my God, I cut my finger. I just let it go because I knew it would pass. I knew it would heal, and I knew by tomorrow I wouldn't even be thinking about it. There are bigger problems, more collective problems. There are bigger, more collective problems. The oppression, the systematic oppression of our time, we have not lived. The people living today, their lifetime has not existed without systematic oppression. That does not mean that we do not have the personal will. It does mean that the cards are stacked against. This too shall pass. These ideas of race they didn't always exist. These ideas of gender have not always existed. The ways that we understand ourselves and the ways that we understand the world has not always existed. America has not always existed. Great Britain has not always existed. This world order has not always existed. Every empire falls. Everything that is impermanent falls. And if we can keep our mind on that eternal peace, that eternal source, that eternal goodness and light that is housed within us, if we can keep our attention on that and cultivate a transcendental perspective, one that we can see the world from a bird's eye view and from within, so that we can understand that I am going to act according to my eternal nature. I am going to love according to my eternal nature. I am going to move according to my eternal nature, and not from this immediate what things appear to be. What things appear to be is not as they are. Because those things which appear will disappear. Everything that appears will disappear. But there is a constant presence of life and of God. Amidst all the appearings and disappearings of this form and this body and this material and this building and this ideology and this nation and this community and this culture, between all the poppings and the goings and the comings and the goings, there is the eternal nature of God, which outlasts it all. You think you can outlast God? You won't. You think your ideas of the world will outlast the eternity of God? They won't. They really will not. None of this lasts. It will all pass, as everything in the past has already passed. This too shall pass. And if we can engage with our immediate surroundings from a transcendental perspective, knowing that this will pass, then what is there to stress when I know that this will be over? What is there to stress when I know that the problems of Tremont are not the problems of this spirit? This personality, this voice, this unique expression, I love it so. I am so grateful to be this expression of God. I am so grateful to be this expression of God. Because I am an expression of God, I try my best. I try my best not to stress the small things, because I know that it will pass. The problems of this lifetime are problems of this lifetime. I know that I've been on this transmigration for a long time. I've been on this transmigration for a long time, and I don't remember a single problem that I ever had in another lifetime. I can't remember a single specific problem that I ever had in a previous lifetime. I had relations then. I had things I was around then. I don't remember them now. You are eternal. You will outlast these memories. You will outlast these problems. You will outlast this trial. You are one with the omnipresent, ever-present, omniscient source and spirit. You are one with that. You will outlast anything that comes your way. It will pass. You never do. It will pass, but you never do. And because you know that, you can be at peace and you can say, all is well. Because I know that the beginning is God. And so I know that the end must be God. And no matter how that end manifests, I know that I am one with the eternal source of goodness and joy and abundance and love and oneness. What is there to stress? What is there to stress? There's nothing. Nothing deserves that type of attention from you. We give it. We give so many things that type of energy. They don't deserve it. I don't think God is stressing. As an extension and a reflection of the Most High, I want to live up to the highest version of myself. Tuning out from the external world, tuning into myself, meditating and learning to cultivate a transcendental perspective, learning so that I can cultivate a transcendental perspective onto temporal problems keeps me at peace, and it is going to keep you at peace for the rest of this year and the rest of your life as long as you practice it. If you want to live peacefully in the midst of hardship, if you want to live a peaceful 2021 after having a shit show of 2020, you will tune out from the external noise and tune into yourself and give yourself that attention. Turn off the news. You will meditate at least 5 minutes every day. At least 5 minutes every day. And you will read and educate yourself on spirit and your relationship to spirit, so that all of your actions are based on brand new knowledge of self. All of your action can be based on a brand new understanding of self that allows you to be at peace no matter what. That is the power of a transcendental perspective on temporal problems. Amen, y'all. We keeping every edge we got this year. 2021 ain't collecting nothing but dust bunnies. You feel me? 2021 ain't giving nothing but blessings. I don't care what comes. Let whatever come my way. I got God. You feel me? I got the Holy Spirit backing me up. So I ain't even finna stress about it. I'm not even finna stress about it. If you went into war with 1 million people behind you and it was only a couple of them on the other side, you be feeling like, shit, I'm about to just stand back and let my peoples do what they do. Well, that's all you gotta do in everyday life. I'm just about to stand back and let God handle that. It's above me now. It's above me now. You feel me? That's how you gotta walk through 2021. Oh, it's above me. My bad. Sorry. Take it up with God. I love you, family. Thank you so much for tuning into the vibration of love undiluted. I look forward to you tuning back in next week. I look forward to a new and a growing platform, I have so many ideas to evolve this to a more engaging experience and to get more people on the show. I want more people on the show. I want to have dialogue. I can do well sitting here talking to y'all by myself, but I do my best in conversation with others. I do my best when I'm in conversation with others. So look forward to that. I look forward to that. And you can find me on IG at the Young Manifest Guru. Young_manifest_guru. You can find me on my website at TraymonMcZeal.com. Please subscribe. Do me a favor. Comment. It makes me feel good to feel that and to see all that engagement. And share this to anybody who might need it, who wants and needs to live a stress-free life. If you know somebody that's stressing and that can benefit from having a stress-free 2021, send this to them. So thank you, family. I love you. I will see you next week.